Okay, right. We're live. Okay,
Hello.
so thank you very much for Julie and Sean from Chronic Pain Coaching to come to the Recovery Devon podcast this morning. Yes, so Julie and Sean run a number of pain cafes in South Devon. I believe Julie, you were saying it was 8 cafes before, weren't you?
We're up to 8 in Plymouth, yes.
In Plymouth, that's very, very impressive. And within the last year as well.
Yeah, so it's all been since we started our first one back in November last year. So
Mm.
it's only really been a few months.
Must have been a very, very busy few months then.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. Just going to do, yeah. So today we're going to talk, Julie and Sean are going to talk about their cafes a little bit, and they're going to talk about some experiences they've had with the cafes, and also going to talk about a little bit of their own recovery paths, and going to give some recovery advice as well today. But we're going to start with a little warm up. So normally it's me doing the quick fire questions, but we're going to Julie and Sean are going to ask each other some quick fire questions today instead. So Julie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll say, Sean, your first one, favourite chocolate?
Yorkie.
Oh, good choice. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Starter or dessert?
Starter.
Oh, good choice. Would you ever do a skydive?
No. That's a definite no.
That was very quick.
I'm not that brave.
Have you ever sung karaoke?
Nope.
Nope.
Well, start now. Hang on, I'm a DJ. I can get the.
Your viewers would turn off straight away.
Best place you've been on holiday?
First place, did you say? Sorry.
Or best place? Sorry.
Best place, Berlin, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, not sunny. It was just nice. Very clean city. Beautiful place. And everybody was really, really friendly.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I went there when I was very, very young. For my aunt is German, and they're going for their wedding. And yeah, I was only very young, but I just remember being on the trams, and it was all very dark, and it's probably changed a lot since then. But
the actual the underground system is so clean compared to other places that I've been to. It's spotless, absolutely spotless.
Okay. I did a skydive once. It is a good feeling.
I would love to.
Back of a jet ski for me, or on the jet ski. That's
still a bit of adrenaline going.
Yeah, oh yes, yeah, plenty. I'm not throwing myself out of an aeroplane though. No way.
Okay. But when you're going up on the aeroplane, was the scariest bit for me because it had one propeller. I like having two propellers in case like a bird strike or something.
Yeah.
I was better jumping out of it.
Yeah, I can swim, but I can't fly.
100%. Okay, now can you think of a few questions for the moment for Julie?
Julie, but no point asking you if you've ever sung because I know you have. What's your favourite colour?
Oh, I don't really have a favourite colour. Probably red.
Red.
You've got red on today.
I have.
Favourite car?
Oh, I don't really know the answer. I'm not really a massive car fan. So I don't know. I mean, I had a Ford Focus once. That was quite good fun. But I don't know. Something mean and sporty, I would like to say, but I can't get in them these days. So
no, that's true. Ferrari's my passion.
oh.
I'll ask the same question to you: pudding or dessert? Pudding or starter?
Definitely the dessert.
Meat or veg?
I'm going to be boring and say veg.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I like meat, but I think if I had to have just one thing, it would be the veg, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Bungalow or house?
I've got a house. I would like a bungalow for the future, but you know, I don't feel quite ready just for that. Yeah.
Yeah, having lived in a bungalow and a house, I think I prefer a house, but as you quite rightly say, later on in life, bungalow would be more sensible, I guess, with our problems.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
cool.
it.
I'd like a bungalow as well. My wife is not too keen on bungalows. Yeah,
I was just selling one actually. Unfortunately, my mum passed away just before Christmas, so we're selling. I'm actually selling it now. Yeah, so it's being sold. Thank goodness.
Okay, I'm sorry about to hear about your mother as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So if it's all right, we'll crack on. Right. Business part. It's too serious, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. The next part of the podcast. Right. So basically, a quick introduction about yourselves. Yeah. Sort of basically main places you've lived, or whatever. If you've got pets or anything you really want to say, just a little bit of introduction about yourselves. Who wants to go first? Do you want to do rock paper scissors or? So we do.
Do you want to go first, Julie? Or I don't mind.
I'll go first. I don't mind.
All right.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Julie. I am married. I've got 3 children. One lives with me, one at university, and the other one's a dentist living elsewhere. I have lived in Devon the whole of my life. I was born in Exeter, grew up in Ivy Bridge, currently live in Plymouth. Did try and get away, but I'll be honest, it's just lovely, isn't it? Why would you want to move to somewhere else in the world? I've been a science teacher, an operating department practitioner, and I was studying medicine at university, postgrad, master's in physician associate, when I unfortunately wasn't able to continue due to back injury. But I do love swimming, yoga, and singing at the moment.
Oh, singing, very nice. Yeah, I read about that a little bit. Yeah, about the university course. So, what's your daughter doing at university?
So she's studying biomedical science at Cardiff. So,
okay,
and she loves the city up there. So it's kind of like Plymouth, but in Wales. Really, it's very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're doing about not wanting to leave. I came to Exeter to do a master's degree in 2011.
Yeah,
I haven't left. I do nothing to do with what I studied in, but it's nice. It's nice to stay down here, isn't it?
It is. I did try and get away, but it calls me back. There's something about Dartmoor. It's just lovely.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, on to you, Sean, please.
Right. So I'm Sean, 64, from Cornwall. I'm son of a Royal Naval officer. I was born in Singapore. Dad was stationed out in Sembawang in the 60s. I have got a mechanical engineering. That's my background. So lived in Dad's last posting was actually in High Holborn in central London. So we moved away. So they rented this bungalow out to military people. And so I spent 3 years in Stanmore in Middlesex up until the age of 14. And then we came back, lived in Kelstock as well prior to actually living in Callington. But we've got a place in Saltash right down on the river. So it's ideal for putting a jet ski in the water and love kayaking. Prior to my operation that went horribly wrong, I used to do a lot of martial arts, played badminton and tennis for the county, sailing, because Dad was, when he was at HMS Raleigh, he was in charge of Jupiter Point, which is a sailing school part of HMS Raleigh. So we were out on the Admiral's boat most weekends. So anything to do with water. Been with Celia 32 years last week. 2 children, 3 granddaughters. One's just turned 18, which is terrifying. With a car and that, and you think, you stop worrying about your children because they're experienced now, and then of course you get your granddaughters that start getting out on the road, which is terrifying. So yeah, and then I'm also the co-founder of the Chronic Pain Cafés in Cornwall, of which we now have 27. Delivered that at the House of Lords, my story, which was terrifying but good fun as well. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, I think my family had a maybe kind of similar history. We were all in Plymouth on my great granddad's side, and then they moved up to Middlesex, Kenton area, Harrow area.
Yes,
slightly similar, I guess.
I went to school in Harrow.
Oh, I went to school in Harrow. So did my dad actually. Yeah. Okay. Let's think. So you joined Chronic Pain Café at the same time?
No, mine was 7 years, coming up to 7 years ago. I did my pain management program in Derriford. As I say, prior to that, I'd been on heavy dose medication for 25 years.
Okay.
Finishing off the last 5 years of that, which I call my opioid oblivion. The last 5 years, I was on 160 milligrams of morphine with more for flare-ups, 1,800 milligrams of gabapentin, duloxetine, and nortriptyline. The last two are antidepressants, but used for pain management. And yeah, so it was 2017. I went into the pain management program, and they said, right, we're going to get you to do some exercise and some mindfulness. And I thought, well, I can hardly get out of bed in the morning. How am I going to exercise? And what's this hippy dippy stuff they're trying to teach me with the mindfulness? But that's how I live my life now. My light bulb moment really was that I stopped breathing when I went to sleep. So I could have not woken up one morning. That's how scary it was. And then that made me more scared to go to bed, go to sleep.
Yeah.
I was only getting 2 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the techniques, I've persevered, obviously. With the techniques that they taught us, we now do that in the community.
Right.
Our pain cafes. So that also takes away the added stress of having to find a parking space in Derriford, or it was done in my jobs actually. How far away is the car going to be from where the pain cafe or the pain management program was? Traveling from Callington to Plymouth was always a nightmare. How many times have I got to stop to, because I'm in pain? So they're taking the stress away from actually delivering that pain management and people in the community.
That must be incredible. And well, fair play. You kept going and kept fighting, and respect to that. I didn't have the chronic pain, but I did have very bad anxiety. I understand what it takes to not get to sleep. I had that for the 17 years. It took me 3 hours to get to sleep, and always it's just not nice, is it? But so we're going to go a little bit more detail about the techniques. But first, we're going to talk about what happens in the cafes. I've got some questions for Julie and then some to Sean as well. So we go Julie first, just happens to be in this order. Julie, please can you tell the audience about the pain cafes? What would happen in a typical 2-hour session?
Hi, so the pain cafes are open to anybody who has been struggling with chronic pain. So that's pain that's been ongoing for more than 12 weeks and is likely to persist at that point. So all sessions are 2 hours. We have about half an hour of meet and greet where everybody just gets together and we try and say something positive about something we've done during the month. Because we only meet once a month at the moment. Then we have a 30-minute guided exercise session. So we have yoga instructors or Pilates instructors. We might get some Tai Chi in, anything to get anybody up and moving. Or, well, a lot of it, to be honest, is from a chair. So we kind of sit and do some gentle stretching and breathing type exercises. And then we have about an hour's focus on kind of one of the principles of pain management. And we have kind of 10 broad pathways. So these are things like sleep management, learning about compassion focused therapy, or what is acceptance, what is pain, all of those kinds of things.
Okay. And are you trying to give people techniques so they can basically come off whatever medication they're on, or?
So it's anything to help people manage this by themselves. I mean, it would be lovely if people were able to come off their pain medication, but we recognize that actually that's not always appropriate for everybody. There have been people that have been on pain medication for a very long time that might really struggle with that, and we will support them regardless. And there still are things they can do in their lives to kind of improve the situation that they're in.
100%. I think that's brilliant. So do a bit of Tai Chi, do you?
I'd love to do a bit of Tai Chi. I need to find a good instructor and get one in, but that's the next thing for me on my list, I think. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, brilliant. And what were the circumstances that led you to found Chronic Pain Coaching CIC?
So I have chronic pain myself. So I had a spinal cord injury from a work-related injury back in 2017. And I really struggled with that for a long time. It got to the point in 2019 where I had something called Cauda equina syndrome, which is a very rare condition that completely shuts your spinal cord off, and I was paralyzed. So I had 3 emergency or urgent operations. I had the same sort of situation in my neck, sort of 6 months after the first operation. So I had 3 operations in 12 months, but continued, even though I'd kind of improved a little bit and was out of a wheelchair and able to walk a short distance, I still had chronic pain. I was really lucky to access the pain management program at Devon Hospital, and I had, for the short kind of time that I was on the program, I had a lot of support there, which was absolutely fantastic. But as soon as I'd finished the program, they were on to the next set of people, and I found myself really quite isolated and alone. And I just thought there's got to be some kind of solution out there, because a lot of people struggle with pain, but there is no community support after the pain management program. And that was my motivation, really. I thought, if someone's got to set something up, and then after a while I kind of thought, actually that person should be me.
100%,
it's taken me a long time to kind of get to a place where I'm happy again. And it's really lovely to be able to share that and give other people hope.
100%. I think you've done so well so far.
Thank you.
What have been some of the best experiences of running chronic pain coaching?
I think for me, it's just getting to meet a lot of new people to share experiences with. A lot of people have very kind of similar themes with their journeys of where they are with their pain. And for me, it's given me a lot of confidence in myself, really, to realise what I can do. And I think I'd felt really hopeless and helpless for a long time before. And then suddenly kind of meeting all the new people has really given me a new lease of life. I've really enjoyed it.
100%. And do you think some people who come to the cafes, do you think they might even start their own cafes up, do you think? Or
I would love for that to happen. I mean, my dream is for them to kind of one day go, thank you very much for the support, it's been great, I want to support other people. So yeah, that would be amazing, and I would support anyone to do that.
Okay, brilliant. I think Sean was saying earlier that it was part of a course. You've got lots of knowledge from a course you did prior to starting the cafe.
So I did. So I did the pain management program, the same as Sean.
What was the program again? Sorry,
it's called a pain management program.
I think it's my speaker isn't too good. Sorry,
okay.
Pain management.
So all large hospitals will have a team of people that will support anyone with chronic pain. So it could be anything from kind of medical interventions through to a program where they kind of teach you all the kind of skills to improve your life and dial down your own pain levels.
So in effect, you're teaching a lot of knowledge you got from that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's really good. And what challenges have you faced so far, and have you overcome those challenges?
So it's not been easy. I've never set up my own business before, so that has been a whole massive thing for me, just kind of finding a little bit of resilience and things to do that. And it's just been, I think, just absolute determination to get there. I didn't think I would, if I'm honest, at the beginning.
Sure.
But it's just, baby steps each time, really. And I've had a lot of support from Sean, which has been absolutely amazing. It's also been pretty tough finding funding, because none of the people don't pay to come to the pain cafes. It's our passion, and we would rather people came through the door and come to get help, rather than worry about trying to find some money that week to go. There are voluntary donations, but we're mainly funded, thankfully, due to the lottery and Live Well. So that's been quite tough finding funding, and is keep looking for funding pots as well is difficult. And of course, I've got my own health and limitations around everything, so that's been a bit of a physical challenge at times.
Sure. I mean, a lot of the stress has maybe been the administration side about doing the whatever you need to set up a CIC. Or
it is, it's not just setting up the CIC; it's kind of keeping it going once you're there, and you kind of have to develop so many marketing and business type skills that I'm just making it up as I go along, the same as everybody does. But it's So far, it seems to be working. So everything crossed.
Okay. Well, it's been really good that you've got through that initial kind of stressful bit, and you're doing well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you seen people's lives change as they have been attending the sessions?
Yeah, so the more people come, I think on the first visit, it's really difficult for people to come in the door. For a lot of people, they've been isolated at home for some of them years. No reason to kind of get out really. So they kind of come in, head down, and they don't even know if they've done the right thing in coming. And then they get to know people. And it's always quite emotional for us as well, because they'll say, I've just felt so isolated. And now I finally meet a group of people who understand me and I don't need to explain myself. It's a really powerful thing. And from there, they start growing in confidence, and we start hearing about all the things they're doing with their lives, which is amazing. And we've sometimes had people say, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm actually too busy. I can't come to a cafe this month. I've got booked on a walk somewhere, or I'm doing something." And I think that's fantastic. It just means you've got the support and you're managing things by yourself. So it's just that growth in confidence for people.
That must be so rewarding.
It really is. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
I hope you continue changing lives. I really do.
Thank you.
And so we'll move on to Sean now. Sean, so you started at Chronic Pain Coaching. You started with the cafes just after Julie, is that correct? So how did you become involved?
So we started our cafes in Cornwall back probably 2 years ago now. So we've grown that up from nothing to 27 now. So I had the running knowledge of the pain cafes in Cornwall. Julie, so I've got a NHS film, Sean's Story, There Is Another Way, which was again, I presented that in the House of Lords, and that got launched in 2019. My operation was back in 92, so that was my period of pain. So Julie, that film was then shown in the pain management program that we've both been on,
right?
To actually show that you can actually live a better life without medication. So I'm now just approaching 7 years without any medication whatsoever, still living with that pain, but using the techniques that I learned. I'm able to self-manage those through movement, distraction, and mindfulness. Changed my life completely. So Julie had seen that video of mine, made contact with me, and we got together, and Julie asked me on board. So I gladly accepted. Because with the Cornwall cafes, we've got people running all of those cafes, social prescribers, and we managed to get funding to put them through Live Well with Pain's 10-foot steps, which we sort of loosely use ourselves, but we're calling it 10 principles.
They're
very, very similar to what we learned at the pain management program. So yeah, and I just carried on. I just wanted to do more, and that, as Julie said just now, the joy of doing this work is seeing people progress and able to do what we've done. Some of the testimonials are absolutely amazing. They wish that they had it before. There's 32,000 people in Plymouth living in pain and on medication, and one hospital who also pick up part of Southeast Cornwall, and one hospital in Truro, and we have 57,000 in Cornwall living with pain. So there's that lack of resources, and that now we're in a position where with the Plymouth, we are hopefully going to be taking on some of their less complex cases. So the actual NHS pain management programs will start referring people to us. We have a meeting with them next week, Julie and I, and they're doing the same in Cornwall too. So, and also, as Julie said, once you've done that pain management program, you learn those skills, but then they go on to the next group of people, whereas we are rolling over. We're there all the time. So anybody that's been through the pain management program is welcome to come along to us for that continued support. Because it's once you've been given those skills, some people can't implement them properly at the moment. They do know the skills, but they're scared. But that's where we come in to give that hope back again.
That is brilliant. I can just feel your passion straight away. I both of you, Julie, as well. I just really like. It's quite touching, actually. And what was your? Can you tell me about what was your feeling about when you did the presentation at Lords? That must have been quite empowering.
Yeah, I've done it. I've been to the House of Lords 3 times now.
Oh
The
wow!
first one was, well, that was traumatic. So I went up with my co-founder, with Dr. Jim Huddy, who was the pain lead for Kerno CCG. Didn't enjoy the train journey so with worry.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it was traumatic, and it was on our anniversary, 25th anniversary as well. So it was, we're looking forward to going out, but I couldn't look forward to it because I was worried about the actual presentation. But I came away elated because everybody got it. Everybody praised what we were doing. And we'd already started talking about doing the pain cafes, and that was really enlightening to other people that we could actually do that sort of thing and bring it into the community and demedicalize the pain management program, which gives people fear already by having to go to a hospital to do the pain management. Yeah, it was traumatic, but I do quite a lot of talks. The last one I did was in the Queen Elizabeth building in Westminster to 3,500 people. Again, I was, scared, but it's that passion that makes me drive and keep going and getting the knowledge out to not only people in pain, but also GPs, not to actually immediately bring out the prescription pad. If you're going to be in pain, if you have got chronic pain, if you're still in pain in 10 weeks' time, you need to start looking at other strategies rather than continually giving out the opioids, especially, and the gabapentinoids.
Okay, sure. So what have been your best memories so far from
best memories for me is actually seeing people actually, coming to us and, getting the message and actually deprescribing themselves, which is amazing. We also have already started, one of our members that come to, or participants that come to one of our Plymouth cafes, is volunteering for us now. So she's actually, we're empowering people to do other things now. They're actually joining their own clubs when they did, because as Julie said, we only meet once a month, so they've got quite a few days without us. But they're actually coming together because they've been in the community, or they are in the community. They've come to us and they've found themselves to have other people in the community in pain, so they're making their own little groups, going walking together. Just before Christmas, some of the guys in Cornwall down at Perranporth, they actually got together and did all their Christmas wreaths together. Nothing to do with us, nothing to do with the pain cafes, but we brought them together in their community setting. So they're actually, they've got their own little self-help group help, I call it.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, it's amazing how quickly the time goes. It's almost 30 minutes already. I'm going to actually just go. One of the key points I wanted to ask both of you. So Sean, you say you don't have the medication at the moment, is that right?
Yeah.
So what gave you? What was a catalyst, or what gave you the strength to kind of like jump to coping without medication? Or maybe it wasn't a jump, maybe it was kind of a few steps. Yeah. But what kind of like gave you the strength, I guess?
But it was the fact that I nearly, I could have died that day. That, well, it wasn't just one day. Over a period of a month, I'd probably stopped breathing about 4 or 5 times, which was absolutely terrifying. So that was my light bulb moment. Yeah. Being very pig-headed helped. And a GP, I had a tribunal from the Department of Work and Pensions. And the GP on the panel said that the medication only worked for 12 weeks. And so I, being an engineer, having an engineering background, I wanted to find out if that was true and why. So basically, it's because that's the time that your tissue takes to heal. Everybody needs pain to stop them sticking their finger in the fire. Yeah. Your body, because you're taking that medication, your body thinks, hang on a minute, he might stick his finger in the fire because he's not getting so much pain. So your body starts making more pain receptors. So then those more pain receptors need more pain medication.
Sure.
So it was that knowledge that actually thought, well, if that's fact, then I need to find other ways. And I started getting the mindfulness, and I was able to distract myself away from my pain. Doing the things that I love to do is my distraction.
That is incredibly powerful.
Out on, I say it is really powerful. And I was a real skeptic. I thought it was all hippy dippy stuff, and I just didn't get it. But that's how I live my life now. Now I broke my foot. And I still didn't have any medication. I dropped a trolley jack on it. I just used more distraction techniques. And if I have a bad day, I had a flare up the other day, I took my sketch pad out and drew a Spitfire. Added bonus of that was that I was able to give it to somebody else, an extended family member, and made them happy too.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is so good. I was going to ask you about how you do deal with difficult days, but I think, if you just get the distraction techniques.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it can be hard, but it's achievable, and it's 7 years, November this year, November the 25th.
Okay.
15th, sorry, November the 15th.
Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And you're pretty much the same question to Julie as well.
So for me, I think I'd had a problem with gabapentin previously. I hadn't realised that I was addicted and dependent, and it got to a head when I was driving home from a physio appointment, and the second tablet that I'd taken to get through the appointment kicked in. And I was lost. I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing, who I was, any of it. And it really frightened me. And that's when I realised I had to start coming off that medication. I was offered other medications, but then went through the pain management program at Derriford. Mine was during lockdown, so I had the support of my family and friends at home with me anyway. And after the pain management program, I then started coming off my medication there. And like Sean, I've got my own pain toolkit, as I call it. So I know if I'm struggling with pain, there are a lot of things that work for me. So it might be gentle exercise, a little walk out and listen to the birds outside. I still need very occasionally to take a dose of medication, but it's just one and that's it, it's done. But it's just having the confidence to think, I've been here before, I've survived it, and I know I'll come out the other side again. It gives you the confidence to kind of manage those flare-ups yourself pretty well. And learning how to pace yourself so you don't get there in the first place has been a really big thing for me.
Sure.
One thing I would like to just add to that, if it's right, Stephen, is that I forgot to say, when I was deprescribing, so when I went from 160 milligrams of morphine down to 80 milligrams, I was in less pain. I hadn't learned those techniques properly, so it just goes to prove that once you start deprescribing, your pain receptors lessen. So I was in less pain. It was the medication that was giving me some of my pain. Okay, for sure.
I mean, it's brilliant that you found the ways forward. If we're to give we haven't got a lot of, so time goes so quickly, basically. But if you ever to give maybe one tip, say someone's struggling with pain, what would you say to them? Maybe Sean go first.
Yeah, it's all about skills, not pills. You can actually use what you love to do to distract yourself away from the medication. And also, we're here to help. So if you have a problem, if you're in pain and you want help, give us a shout.
Okay, for sure. And for Julie?
I would just say to people that if you're living with chronic pain, you have the power within yourself to make a big change. It will take time, and you have to accept that you will probably continue to live with some degree of pain, although you can absolutely learn to reduce it to something that's manageable. So we will give you that time and support. Please don't be afraid to ask for it.
That's brilliant. And I'll tell you what we'd like to do. Maybe after this session, I can have a little chat with you. Maybe we can do a further podcast. I think we'd like to explore some more techniques in more detail. I think it'd be really useful.
That would be amazing.
But I think just for now, I think this can be the part one.
Yeah.
Then we can do part two maybe another time.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Because I didn't realise how quickly this was going to go. Just chatting.
We love to talk about what we do as well. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I think we'll do I think I'd like to speak to you and we do another part two of this, where you can't keep it a certain time limit. You have to sort of work with it to do the podcast. And,
that's fine.
But for this part one, this has been great.
Yeah, fantastic.
I've actually been, even though I don't don't know, the chronic pain. I've been through some stuff myself, and just to hear you guys to be the way you've come, it's quite touching for me actually. And this is,
and that's what helps the people that come along to us, because we actually have got that knowledge and experience it ourselves already.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you for doing part 1. Thank you very much, Sean and Julie. And I think we're going to do part 2 as well. But for now, this has been a great podcast. And I'm sure that hopefully we'll get it on Recovery Devon social media channels soon.